everybody? Welcome back to another episode here of the Washington Football Maniacs. If you're new here, thank you for joining us. My co-host Brandon Scott is off tonight, so you just get me all to yourself. And I see people just clicking off right and left here and there. But for those loyal fans who want to stay and stick around, thank you for all of your support. Let's get into it tonight. So this evening, I just want to briefly talk about the new ownership that's supposed to be voted in about 10-ish days, around July the 20th. Josh Harris and his group is supposed to be voted in as the next owners or the next ownership group of the Washington Commanders. And are we all going to see some huge, big changes right away? Well, some reports are saying that, in fact, we probably will be seeing some big changes, or at least some changes. I think we'll definitely be seeing some changes that will be noticeable. Now, I don't think you're necessarily going to be seeing coaching changes or anything like that right away. As a matter of fact, I think that Ron Rivera, depending on the success of his quarterback, Sam Howell, I think if Sam Howell is very successful in this next season, then you're going to see Ron Rivera stick around for a very long time. Because as we have seen it throughout history, especially throughout the history of the NFL, and even in recent history, coaches who have very successful quarterbacks tend to stick around, especially with that one team. And so I think Ron Rivera certainly has the chance of longevity with this team if Sam Howell turns out to be that franchise quarterback that has been eluding this franchise for Lord knows how long, right? So that being said, I don't think you're going to see that particular change, but I think a lot of changes you are going to see, hopefully, is going to be with the fan experience. I certainly think that one area that Josh Harris is going to turn his concerns and attention toward is going to be the fan experience. It's going to be the investment into how fans spend their time, at least right now, in this stadium. There's been talk in the recent past that the Josh Harris group want to invest, I forget the dollar amount, I want to say $1 billion, no, it wasn't $1 billion, but at least probably $1 million or so into the current infrastructure, a FedEx field, and get it revamped. Now, a lot of people were thinking, oh, you know what? When they're talking about that, then that means no new stadium. And no, that is not the case whatsoever. What I think that Josh Harris is trying to say is that we have got to fix the fan experience right now, because we know what we have right now and we got to fix that right now. And so I think what Josh Harris is trying to do is, once that he is official and he's voted in, he's going to try to change that fan experience. And so he's going to invest some money into the current FedEx field. He doesn't want to see any more poop pipes bursting. I mean, who does? Okay. He wants to see improvement with the food and just the overall experience. Now, certainly it may not make a lot of sense to bring in all of these huge upgrades just to vacate that space for a brand new stadium. But you've got to bring people back in, right? And so Josh Harris wants an immediate impact on fans coming back into the stadium, sitting in there and watching games. And he wants true France. He doesn't just want investors who happen to get, free tickets through their companies, people that don't even watch football half the time, but they go out to a football game to, talk business. I mean, that happens all the time. So that's something that Josh Harris is really going to concern him with. Now, certainly a lot is going to depend on how the season goes. And so if the season doesn't quite, go the way that it should, then he's going to certainly look at the football operations. He's going to certainly look at changing, making all of his changes there, as he should, right? So I think that this is probably coming up on the last week of us just, sitting back and running our scenarios through all the YouTube land and all of that stuff. In the next week or two, once the ink is dried, I think that Josh Harris is going to start jumping in and he's going to start showing us immediately some changes. And probably some changes that we have been asking for who knows how long. Especially a lot of you fans who are regulars who come out to the stadium. And I think once you actually do start to see a lot of those changes put in place, then, word of mouth gets around. And then other people who have not been coming out to the stadium to watch games are going to be like, what do you mean they've upgraded this? Oh, they've changed this? Oh, okay, they fixed the poop pipes. Okay, no more of the reinforcement of the walls are falling down. Although Eagles fans, does it really matter? Anyway, I mean, it gets out, and then eventually all of those other long-term fans start to trickle in. Now, of course, you're still going to have a lot of fans who have been so upset with the name change, they're never coming back. And I'm not going to get into that on the argument on either side of that, but just that, could that be, possibly another source of how that Josh Harris, if I can word this correctly, could this be another avenue of what Josh Harris looks at as far as bringing people back in? Is he going to look at the Washington Commanders name and say that this is actually not working out for us in terms of bringing people back in as what we hoped? Maybe we need to go back to, well, it was never going back to the Redskins, folks. As much as I would love to see that, I don't think that's going to happen. So I would like to see if that might be something that Josh Harris kind of flirts around with. I would like to definitely hear him, have some comments on that. I don't think he's really commented on that yet. I think you've heard some comments from Jason Wright, and that, his assumption of what Josh Harris and, what he's assumed that group holds as priority. And right, maybe right. But in the end, who's to say that it isn't something that might be on the priority list, but it may not be right away. Who knows? We're going to have to kind of look at that and see, folks. All right. I just wanted to send out this quick video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a like. Smash that subscribe button. And come on, folks. You need to subscribe. This YouTube channel has had to change. Bringing in the co-host with my buddy Brendan Scott, we have a lot of good conversations going back between each other. Normally, we do a recording with each other tonight. He had some prior engagements, and we're going to try to do a recording on Tuesday night. Normally, we do it Sunday nights and Wednesday nights. Things could be a little bit different for us this week because of both of our prior engagements, but we're going to make it work either way. Anyway, folks, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for supporting this channel. And guess what? I will see you in the next one. Take care, people. Peace.
Hey, you stayed until the very end. Thank you so much. Watch another one right now.